Hello, hello, hello. Happy Sunday. This show I am excited about. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you will know I'm pumped up for tonight's topic. I actually did not have any submitted questions this week, so it allowed me to just talk about whatever I want to talk about, and I'm going to be talking about masculine and feminine energy. This is such an interesting topic to me because it explains so much about natural behavior of a woman and the natural behavior of a man. So the more we can learn about this stuff, the better. And I just realized, my apologies to everybody who is a part of my email list. It just hit me that I did not send out an email today. So hopefully people remember what day and time it is and they could just jump on, but that was my bad. All right, so I want to do a couple of little announcements before we launch. Of course, you guys know already, I'm sure, that I have a couple of books. We have my First Date 101. It is a man's guide to dating a man. I interviewed a ton of men and asked them what they loved and couldn't stand on first dates with women. And I compiled them into a handy dandy little guide, so you can see that there. And this one, Why Women Love A-Holes. It's essentially, the title's clickbait a little bit. It's essentially a guide for men who consider themselves good guys and explaining what it is that they are missing that keeps women from being attracted to them the way that they are attracted to bad boys, as they would put it, okay? Because it's not a bad thing necessarily. Not all women are drawn to certain characteristics because they are unhealed. A lot of times it's because it's just something natural that women are looking for. Sorry guys, my eye is irritating me. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the likes. Okay, so those are my two books. The other things that I want to say are, y'all ever get like just natural oil in your eye? Ooh, it's like stinging. So pardon me while I wipe at my eye. The very first live stream of the month, which if you remember from last week, we're going to be moving into Mondays starting March 21st. So I'll keep reminding you each week. But the very first live stream of the month, I'm going to be bringing back the group chats. Had a blast last month. Had an absolute good time talking to the people who joined me on camera. It was awesome. People like Howard from Canada, Kizzy. It was really a good time. So I'm going to bring that back the top of the month. So if you guys want to join me on camera, make sure that you DM me and I will give you the link to jump on. The other thing is Bible study started last Thursday and it was awesome. I had such a great turnout. It was really cool to see how many people cared to learn about their spirit man. We are, a massive part of us is our spirit man. We're mind, body, spirit. And a lot of times people just focus on the mind and they just focus on the body. But the spirit is where your emotions come from. So why wouldn't you want to learn about that? So I'm really excited. There were so many people who are interested in learning about that. Really pumped about this coming Thursday because we are really going to get into it. Last week, we just did the introduction and kind of I gave a little bit of a warning, like what we're going to be getting into and what people should be cautious of. So if you would like to see the one that you missed, just slide in my DM on Instagram because I haven't decided where I'm going to post it yet, the link. And I will make sure I send it to you when I post it, okay? Because I'll probably put it on YouTube. All right, so that's that. And last but not least, if you are not on my email list, make sure that you're on because that is the only way that I can communicate with people and don't have to worry about an algorithm. If I send a message out to 100 people, 100 people are going to get it. Versus Instagram, it might be 10% of the people who actually see it. That's just how it is. YouTube might not suggest it to people. So get on the email list, which is linked in my description here, if you would like to be notified of everything that's happening, all things Yonci, okay? All right, so let me know what city and state you are watching from. Oh, hey, Walter. Hey, Walter, one of the OGs. Let me know what city and state you are watching from. I'm going to shout out the first couple of people who comment. Thank you to everyone who knows the drill and has hit that like button. Why do I have this big old button? I didn't even realize. Which one am I on? Okay. I could not remember how to, there we go. Okay, sorry, y'all. The graphic was bugging me. Thank you to everyone who's already hit that like button. We got Chicago. Oh, hey, what's up, Kizzy? We got Memphis, Tennessee. Nice, nice, nice. All right, so if anyone else wants to say where they're from, speak now or forever hold your peace, because I am diving in. I need every bit of this hour because, y'all, there's so much stuff. I'm going to talk really fast, okay? I love it. A lot of return people. Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Okay. South Carolina. Oh, nice. We got both the Carolinas in the house. Okay, you guys, you might want to write stuff down on this particular live stream because when I tell you I'm going to throw information at you, I want to talk about masculine and feminine energy. The thing is that we need, I'm looking at my notes, guys, so I'll be looking down a lot today, okay, because I don't want to miss anything. We need to not be so sensitive when it comes to the opposite sex. I did 2 reels, one for men, one for women, saying what men look for when they are ready to settle down and find a mate. And then what women look for when they're ready to settle down and find a mate. And a lot of the women were very sensitive and they were very opinionated on what a man needs in a woman. And for the life of me, that logic is just, it throws me off because my thought is, it is what it is. At least you know about it. You can't sit here and be upset and say, oh, I wish they looked for different qualities when you do the same thing as women. You have specific qualities, whether it's you want him to be 6 foot tall, whether it is, you want him to have this particular income, whatever it is, we all have things that we look for. So instead of being upset about the fact that the opposite sex has certain things that they want, which are deal breakers, learn them. And if you want that type of a caliber person, become that person. And if you don't know how to become that person, sign up for coaching, read, watch YouTube videos. There are so many tools out there that can help men become the best versions of themselves. Oh, what's up, Sai? So shameless plug, but literally this is why I wrote these books. Okay, you guys, I'm being so serious. If you understand, I'll give you one of the things out of the book. One of the things that men are really struggling with in 2022 is that the women that they encounter are extremely entitled. They come across like little princesses who don't need to do diddly squat. All they have to do is show up and breathe oxygen. And that's not cute. It's a turnoff, okay? Don't be confused. I'm not talking about he wants her to spend money. It's not that. That's why tonight I'm getting into what are the feminine traits. Because the beautiful thing about being a woman is that we just have to be. Men have to do. It doesn't matter how sweet and lovely he is. If he is living with his mama at home, we're not about that life if we're a feminine woman, okay? But we can live at home. We could still be 35 years old living in our daddy and mommy's house, and he will not care if you are, right? If we're just being, if you are these qualities that I'm going to be talking about today. So count your blessings that you don't have to produce to make him attracted to. Men, I'm sorry, but it just is what it is. But what did I say? Don't be resentful. Just get with the program. So that's why I wrote this book. This one talks about those traits. What are the things that women look for intrinsically to say, why am I attracted to this person? Does he have this stuff? Thank you, Sai. Girl, I'm so excited. I wish more people were here. And I forgot to send the email tonight. So God just reminded me. So anyway, so that's why I wrote these books, okay? These are not just like random books. This is why I wrote this, because I want people to be successful when they are dating. All right, so let's get into this. Opposites attract. And the audience that I am talking to fall under this description, okay? Both genders have both energies. You notice I put blue for the feminine, blue for masculine, and then pink for feminine. It's just easy to remember, right? So don't think, oh, I'm a super macho man, so I have 100% masculine energy. You don't. You have about 20% feminine energy and 80% masculine energy, and it's the reverse for the women. 80% feminine energy and 20% masculine energy. And I'm going to explain why you absolutely need to have both to be like a sound human being who can function in the real world. Shout out to Kansas City, Missouri. Thank you for joining in, Timothy. If you guys have just joined in, please, please, please smash that like button. It lets YouTube know to push this out to more people. I could care less about the likes. I don't even look at how many likes I have. I just want to make sure that the most amount of people can see this, because this stuff will change your life for the better. So if you are in your cell phone and you are in the chat box, you have to close out of it, I think someone said, and then go to the main screen, which will let you hit the like button and then come back in, okay? So thank you, thank you, thank you. Sorry I have to beg for that, but it's really helpful when it comes to YouTube, and I want people to catch this live. Okay. Oh, perfect. Teo Felder. Hey, hey, hey. Thank you for joining in. Okay. So. Don't be upset about this stuff. It just is what it is. But these are the percentages, and this is just a guesstimate that people have come to when they're assessing energy. If you guys do not know, we are made of energy fields, okay? We have electricity going through our body, which is why we have static cling. If you've ever pulled something out of the dryer, the dryer, and your hair kind of sticks up, or you get shocked as you're walking, it's because we have electrical currents going through our body. All right, we are made up of matter, things that can be touched, and we're also made up of energy, things that you cannot touch. But have you ever just kind of like felt someone standing next to you, like you just feel their energy? Or you say like, ooh, looks could kill. It's because they're literally sending you energy. Have you ever been in a room and there were two people who were beefing with each other, but they just weren't speaking? No words were said, hands were not flying, but it was like palpable. Like they say, you could cut the tension like a knife. Why? Because it's energy. Energy is palpable. Okay, you ever seen two people in love and you're like, gosh, get a room, because their energy is palpable. So I want you guys to understand this stuff. Thank you to the half of you who hit the like so far. Appreciate you guys. Okay, so we are energy fields. We have electrical energy, electrical impulses and signals, and then we have chemical reactions as well. I talked about how when you kiss, there's a chemical reaction that you have in your body. When you have sex, there's a chemical reaction that happens in your body. All right, we are not all mind. We are chemicals and energy. So the reason why I broke this down was because not all people have the same percentages. Some men have more feminine energy. Some women have more masculine energy. But my audience, I'm speaking to a very specific niche audience, and it is women who are primarily made of feminine energy and men who are primarily tapped into their masculine energy. So they'll tap into the other stuff when necessary, but the majority they're going here. Why? Because I can't talk to everybody. I'll get people who say, "Oh, well, that doesn't apply to me. Oh, okay." So I want to talk to the people who it applies for. So if you are not one of these people, please save your comments. I know that there are outliers, but that's not my target audience. These types of people are the men who are the go-getters, the men who want to provide, the men who take just so much pride in knowing that they can provide for their family. These are men who, if they can, they would love nothing more than their wife to be able to be at home and just totally dedicate herself to taking care of him and taking care of their kids. The world has made it seem like that is just old school, barbaric, only a chauvinist would want that. They've painted this nasty, nasty picture and glamorized feminism. But I'm here to tell you that so many of the old school ways were based on practicality. Practicality. Women are the only ones who can carry babies. So guess what? If we are out in the workplace, there is a span of time where we cannot work. Okay? If we wanted to be in construction, we can't be up in a beam somewhere 7, 8, 9 months pregnant. Now, are there people who could still do a lot of physically engaging activities? Yes, there are some women who still horseback ride or whatever. But this is from a practical purpose. If you have a person who for a couple months out of the year is going to be out of commission, why not let her have a more cushy job inside the home? She's not out fighting traffic. She's not under that extra stress. She's not fighting the elements, unless you live in Southern California where it stays like 70 degrees all year long. All right. You don't want her out super pregnant, trying to walk out with icy driveways and pouring rain and all this stuff. It was meant to be a blessing to the woman that she got to be home. Feminine women crave their babies. Women cry crocodile tears and hardly can get through work when they have just had their baby and they have to go back to work. It is not natural because of the chemicals that come through our bodies. I'm not talking about women who have postpartum depression. That's a chemical imbalance. But women who have a natural, healthy chemical balance crave their babies. It is not normal to be separated from your baby. Okay? I remember being kind of bored as a housewife, and I'm like, I want to go out and work. And I tried going out to work. I think my son was like 4, and I will never forget the face of this little precious baby standing in the screen door just crying for me. And I'm just like, this is not normal. For what? My little $10 an hour, $12 an hour job. Like, it just was not normal for me. Okay, and that's because I'm a very much a nurturer. I love children. I'm like the Pied Piper. Kids just are drawn to me, and I'm drawn to them. So for a woman with feminine energy, it is absolute hell to be separated from her child for any period of time. Physically, okay, she's breastfeeding. So I don't mean to take so much time, but it's like these rules, okay, are you guys with me on this? These rules were set up out of just, what is the word? Practicality. So the man is going out. He's the one who is sacrificing, himself and doing the heavy lifting so that she could be home. So a lot of these men that I'm talking about, the majority of them, that is their dream. The only reason why some of these men are looking for a woman to contribute financially is only because the cost of living is so high, which is a result of feminism, by the way. Feminism got so many women to leave the home that economists, which I would not be surprised if corporations were behind the movement, because they're the ones who benefited from women getting out of the home. That's more people who are going to be going to school now who normally didn't go to school. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't get an education. I'm not saying that at all. I'm simply saying let's look to see who stands to benefit. Women getting out of the home makes them have more people pay for college and more people in the workforce. Now, more people in the workforce means that you can charge more money for the exact same product. That same TV, when most people, the average person, had one income in a household, now when you have 2 incomes in a household, you can raise the price. So that's for another conversation. But just understand, this whole feminist movement, as much as people will defend it, it was not all innocent. It was not all, I just want women's rights, okay? Because you can have rights as a human without trying to emasculate men and act like they are not necessary. That's the issue I have with feminism, is that the message is put out there a lot that you don't need a man. I'm sorry, but a lot of us want one, because guess what? We can't make babies on our own. Well, technically we could. No, because even not technically, you might not sleep with the person, but even if you adopt a child, there has to be a man to conceive that baby, okay? But they'll probably try to get to a point where they could invent sperm if they could. But I'm getting besides the point. Okay. All right, so you guys, hopefully I've made my argument. We need that polarity. The reason why a lot of women say, I don't like hanging around a lot of other women, it's because there's just too darn much estrogen. All right, estrogen is a lot. Estrogen is a lot, and the way that we are, it could be a lot. So you like the polarity. You like the yin to the yang. So let's stop acting like the polarity is a bad thing. If you are too similar, you're not going to like the person. You're not going to like a guy, if you're a feminine woman, you're not going to like a man who is super, 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 super feminine. He's really emotional. He has a hard time being logical. He falls apart. He just wants to exist and be creative and be an artist. Feminine woman is not going to go for that. Okay? That's right, Kizzy. That's right. I love that. We should get into that whole thing, the strong woman thing. Okay. But I understand the spirit in which he was saying, but that is a beautiful talking point that we can get to. All right, so what the issue is that a lot of us struggle with the dance. The feminine struggles to dance with the masculine, and the masculine struggles to dance with the feminine. And even within, a lot of people struggle with that balance. A lot of women come to me and say, I don't know how to balance my masculine energy. When I don't want to be in my masculine energy, because it's going to turn off a man, I don't know how to turn it off. And in reverse, a lot of men are committing suicide, or they don't know how to deal, and they're just stressed out and turning to alcohol and all these other things because they don't know how to tap into their feminine energy when it's necessary. All right? So we need each other, and we need to learn how to balance it. I want to tell you this, ladies. So men, I heard this amazing analogy. Men are like knights in shining armor, okay? And there was a story, I'm going to butcher it, but you'll get the gist of the story. There was a man who told the story. He said, women are like damsels in distress, right? Well, men like to see it that way. So the woman, the woman is the damsel. She's up in the tower, and she's stuck up there because there's a fire-breathing dragon. There is this dilemma, right? So this poor damsel is in the tower, and who can rescue her? No one but the knight in shining armor. He has been buffing up his armor, he's been sharpening his sword, and he's been taking care of his stallion for just this time. And what does he hear in the distance? Ah! He's like, ah, she needs me. So he gets on his horse, and he comes in to save the day, right? He sees that fire-breathing dragon. He puts aside all of his fears, and he comes in and he slays the dragon. He cuts the dragon's head off, and he goes up in the tower and rescues the princess. And she's like, Swoon, thank you for saving me. So he's like, no problem. Goes along his way, and then later he hears, ah! And he's like, oh, there's another damsel in distress. I bet you it's another fire-breathing dragon. And so he rides up as quickly as he can, and he can see her over the hill. And all of a sudden, he's like, what is she doing? And she's leaning out of the tower, and she's got this rope. And he's like, what is she doing with that rope? And he watches, he's getting closer, he's watching her, and she's like, ah! And she takes it, lassos it, and she hangs the dragon, and the dragon drops dead. And here's the poor little knight, and he's like, she's like, look, I slayed the dragon, don't worry, I don't need you anymore. And he's like, oh, okay. And he turns around and he rides away. The way that we were created, the yin and the yang, we each served a purpose. And that's a little bit of a silly story, but it's to make the point. This is what is happening in today's day and age. A lot of women are going out and doing the very thing that men take so much pride in. Why? Because that's masculine energy. A lot of women are tapping into their masculine energy, and they are slaying the dragon. And what's worse than slaying the dragon, not only are they like, oh, don't worry, I got it. They're like, I don't need you. What you gonna do for me? You gonna slay a little corny dragon? Man, you know how many dragons I slayed this week? And they're belittling the men. They're going beyond innocently taking away their role. They're actually belittling them and emasculating these men. And then the men are like, you know what? Screw it. You're such a genius. You're such a professional dragon slayer. Go get your little dragon, slay your dragon. Don't worry, I'll be over here with the nightclub, and we're going to just do our thing. And then you've got us, the feminine women, who are like, ah, I want to be saved. I want to be saved. And they're like lumping us all together like we're a monolith. No, you guys can slay your own dragons. And we're saying, we don't want to slay our dragons. We're just 35 years old, and no slayer has come along, so we've had to hang them on our own. But goodness gracious, I do not have the arms to keep pulling this rope up. If I can drop this rope, honey, I will drop this rope in a heartbeat. You tell me that I can drop this rope, that I don't need this rope, I will let that thing go with a quickness. Exactly. She said, don't lump me in that section. But here's the thing. There are a lot of women who want to drop that rope. They don't want to keep having to deal with this rope. But they've had so many knights that come in that don't slay the dragon. And now she's scared. Do I let go of my guaranteed protection and count on that knight who may or may not come and rescue me or rescue me effectively. Maybe he just chops off the dragon's foot, but he could still breathe out fire. So we're in this dilemma. We're in this dilemma. I love it. Yes, Walter, exactly. That's the reason why. That's the reason why they don't want to let the rope go. But these poor women are getting calluses on their hands. They are getting rope burn. And they're in a dilemma. I want to be safe, but I also don't want to hold this rope. So men, I want to teach you how to sharpen your knife, how to keep your armor buffed up, how to take care of your stallion. And ladies, I want to teach you how to grab your rope and still survive, or drop your rope and still survive, okay? You guys liking this stuff? Okay. So I'm going to get into what men look for. And we're probably going to have a part 2 because we're already halfway through the time. I told you guys we're not going to scratch the surface. I'm still on page 1, y'all, and I have like 4 pages. Okay, good, good, good. Walter said he's loving it. He's loving it. So men think about, how does she make me feel? Can I have fun with her? Like at the end of the day, do I feel like I have an outlet with her? Like, can I have fun? Or am I going to be just as stressed out with her? Okay. And finally, is she going to fit into my world? Can I bring her around my friends? Is she the image that I want to project? Because men have an image of themselves and they want a woman that fits into that. Okay. You guys can get more into this. There's a video I linked in the description. It talks about how men secretly assess women. And I had my buddy Troy come in, Troy Spry, and we unpack that. Okay. So if you want to get into that, but we talk about those 3 things. Okay. How does she make me feel? Is she fun to be around? And can I bring her in my circle? Those are what guys are looking at. But this is what I talked about in my reel, and I can expound on it a little bit more. Men will look, of course, they have to be physically attracted. So let's stop pretending like we don't look at looks. Okay, women do it too. But after he's assessed and said, okay, she's bad, she's cute, then they go into her attitude and disposition. And as I said in the beginning, thank goodness as women, we don't have to do, we just have to be. But even still, women were complaining on my post about what we have to be. And I said the standard is too high. They're being unrealistic. This is what he's asking for. Is she kind? That's what I put. Is she kind? Who has a problem with being kind? You should be kind just be by yourself as a single person. Is she compassionate? Again, basic human qualities. Is she mild-tempered? What does that mean? And people read into that. Oh, he wants her to be just this like limp rag, just this, you know, this doormat. No, mild-tempered means I can control my temper. I should not be like this. I shouldn't be a basket case screaming from the roof, and I shouldn't be this depressed maniac who's like raging mad. I should be able to temper myself. Okay, so kind, compassionate, mild-tempered. Second one, does she know when to speak and when to hold her tongue? You can have the right thing to say, but say it at the wrong time. Tact is everything. A lot of people who don't read the room, they don't know when to say something. So maybe if he just got beat down on the job, now is not the time to dump more on him. But you want to say, oh, but it's true, it's true. Read the room. The man's about to cry. Like, now is not the time. The next thing, is she gracious? Gracious, that's it. You slayed the dragon, thank you. One word, thank you. Makes them. That's all they want. They want to know that their hard work was appreciated. That is a human desire. I don't mind extending the energy, but could you acknowledge it? Okay? And what do women say sometimes? That's what you're supposed to do. What? Just because that's what they're supposed to do doesn't mean you can't be thankful. They could say, well, a woman's supposed to pop out a kid, so why do you want me to say thank you? Because I risked my body for you? So we can say thank you. It's okay to say thank you. What about is she graceful? Men don't want to feel like they're with a dude, or else they'd be with a dude. They'd probably get along better. But they love the feminine nature. He loves the grace, the feminine energy. Okay? So is she graceful? Is she refined? Or is she the type of chick, don't come for me, is she belching? Is she passing gas? Is she, you know, doing things that a man would do? Or is she refined? Does she keep herself together? Does she take care of herself? Does she keep herself groomed? Does she go out with the bonnet on? Hmm? Can he take her to the company dinner and not feel like he's going to get embarrassed? We're keeping it real, remember? Because women, you have your list too, so don't get mad that he has his list. Is she self-aware? A self-aware person takes accountability because they can actually see themselves. A person who's not self-aware will blame everybody for everything she does wrong. Okay? Is she going to argue just for the sake of arguing? Some people are just argumentative. The Bible says it's better to be on a housetop than to be inside with a nagging woman. Okay? Is she going to be a headache? Again, can he have fun with her? Or is she going to add to his joy? Is that his best friend who he can't wait to race home and get to? If he's had a bad day, is she someone that he's going to want to, that she just says, lay on my lap, baby, I'm just going to rub your head? Or is he coming home to another headache? The other thing I kind of tapped into it, is she a good reflection of him? Does she fit into this picture that he had in his mind of him and his family that he's going to be creating? Is he an extension of him? If someone sees him and says, oh, that's your wife? Ooh, he doesn't want that. He wants, oh, okay, I could see that. Oh, yeah. It's like power couple, right? She compliments him. That's what the men are looking for, okay? Now, you ladies did well. Doesn't look like anyone was triggered. Oh, bummer, Walter. Here's the women stuff, okay? The woman, remember, she doesn't just want him to be. She needs him to do. And what does she need him to do? She needs him to protect her. She looks at a man and says, can he protect her and provide for her and their future family if they want to have one? So she's thinking way into the future. Does this man, oh, thank you, Antonio. Does this man have the ability to provide? And guys, even if you don't have it yet, a really smart woman will look to see, do you have those qualities that will allow you to get there? Are you going after your dreams, or are you sitting at home playing the PlayStation? A lot of women are willing to invest in that guy if she can see he is a go-getter, he's sacrificing, and he's giving it his all. She's looking at his characteristics. So this is what she asks about his character. Will I be safe with him? Am I emotionally safe? Or does he take my feelings and disregard them completely? Dismiss them. Oh, it's an emotion, so bleh. Is he going to be safe? Is she going to be safe with him financially, which is why she looks at his provision. Okay, is he good with his money? Does he know how to be a leader? Some men are just not good leaders. They're like, put their tail between their legs and like, I mean, if you want to, I guess. Or does he seem confident? Like, you might be steering me wrong, but look like you know what you're talking about. Okay? So, yes, she said, or are you doing something dangerous and illegal that will come back to hurt us and our family? Exactly. She ain't trying to be burying her husband and now she got kids to raise, or now he's in prison and she got kids to raise. We got to pay attention to this stuff. Are you reckless? You know, are you out doing unnecessarily dangerous stuff to where we could potentially be widowed? Okay. This is a thing. Now, just because he's a leader, it doesn't stop there. The woman wants to know, is he going to be a dictator? This one is huge, okay? We're going to get more into this stuff on the second one because I know we're going to run out of time. Is he going to be a dictator? Or does he listen to her input humbly before making a decision? Some men truly think that they are better than women. They literally think that they're better. If you could give them a lie detector test, if you just listen to the way they speak, you could tell a lot. I don't want to say a lot. There are men who think that women are idiots and they're only good for sex or making babies. Genuinely, there are some men like that. And so you have to be careful that you don't get with a man like that. You want to get with a man who values your opinion. But here's the yin to the yang. You should be able to set your opinion before your leader. Just set it before him with respect and walk away. That way he can pick through all the decisions he has, the choices he has in front of him, the ones he brought to the table, ones that you potentially brought to the table, but you walk away emotionally, meaning it's only my job to bring it to you. And I trust you, sexy leader, that you're going to make the right decision. And then if you make the wrong decision, guess what? I'm not throwing your face. Because I believe you have enough common sense to realize your own mistake. And guess what? You put that into your repertoire, and you pull upon that for the next time. He will learn from his mistakes. He's a big boy. But what happens is a lot of women jump down the men's throats. And the minute that he makes a mistake, she's all over him and she lords it over him. She holds it. I told you to turn left back there. I told you to turn. And then guess what happens? He has PTSD. He doesn't want to deal. So then the next time, maybe he goes with what she says just because he doesn't want to hear her mouth, and it was the wrong decision. And then I guess what he's going to do. Now I listen to you and you got us all turned. So that's why there has to be a hierarchy. Feminists hate this. I'm just as smart. Nobody said you weren't as smart, honey. But there has to be a hierarchy. There has to be, because there has to be order. So you bring in your ideas. And you pick someone who is the sexy leader that he is, and you trust he's going to make a good decision. Like I said, if he messes up, he can figure it out. Now he knows for the next time. And if he sees that what the contribution that you made that he ignored, guess what? He's going to pay a little more attention next time to what you say. And over time, you're going to start to see which person has the most wisdom in that particular area. I did a live stream with a gentleman named Vaughn, and he said he and his wife, they go after harmony. Even though he's the final decision maker, he goes after harmony. What works best? Who has what strengths? A good leader will say, you know what, I could make this decision, but babe, you're way better in this area, so I'm going to let you. That's why you have to have humility. A lot of men are so ego-driven and they're so insecure that they cannot admit when there's something they don't know. They would rather die than ask someone for help. Okay? So you need to look at this man. This is why I say, ladies, take that 90 days to really sniff out the dude. Look at his ego. Listen to the stories he tells you about other people. Men, look at her. Look how is she ungrateful all the time? Is she rude to other people? You can tell a lot by just listening without having sex. Because again, chemicals get induced and now you're not thinking with your head. Okay? It all goes together. She wants to see if he's going to protect her heart and honor her feelings. That's huge for a woman. She needs to feel safe emotionally. She wants to see, okay, cool, he makes good money. Cool. But what's his attitude like about money? Is he greedy and he's selfish and he says, this is my money and I'll parcel it out to you as I see fit? Is he controlling? Or does he say, you are me. We are one. Mine is ours. You want to look to see if he has those characteristics, okay? And I'm not talking about on the first date, okay? All that he owns does not belong to you. So please do not ask him to be paying your mortgage and paying your car note. If I ever hear of a woman asking a man, don't do it. Okay? It's not their job. He has not taken you on as a wife yet. Will he defend my honor and stand up to me? Stand up for me. Okay? You want to make sure that he puts you first over everyone. Whether it's his mom, whether it's anyone. He should not put his job over you. He should be looking out for you. And when I say his job, I mean there should not be anything that's happening that puts his family in jeopardy. Okay? He should always be thinking about his wife and his kids. Will he add to my joy? Will he stand by my side in thick and thin? Is he going to be supportive and stable? And will he be controlling, demanding that I do everything his way, or will he give me enough room to grow and flourish? You guys liking this stuff? So I'm talking to a camera, so let me know. How are we on time? Okay. So we've gotten over the general things that people are looking for, okay? She said stable. Yes, Lord. Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, hey, Shayna. Okay, thank you for tuning in tonight, love. All right, so this is the fun part. I'm glad you guys stuck around the 40 minutes. We're going to compare feminine and masculine. And if you are taking notes, you're probably going to write these down. You could put a column and you could say feminine energy on one side and masculine energy on the other side. And remember, going back to my graphic, we both have both. So don't look at the other energy with contempt. Honey, you have it in you. It needs to be tapped into at certain times for your benefit. Okay, so the feminine energy is the energy that heals. The feminine is what feels. And so if you have emotions that you need to acknowledge and feel, your feminine energy wants you to acknowledge those feelings. What does the world say? Suppress them to men. Suppress them. Men don't cry. Boys don't cry. Suck it up. Act like a man. No. Yeah, maybe in the middle of a war zone, you don't stop and cry about your buddy who got killed. But maybe when you come back, yeah, let's process that. That was a lot. You just watched somebody get blown apart in front of you. You might want to unpack that, because that's still staying in your body. That trauma is staying in your body, whether you want to acknowledge it or not, and it will come out in other ways. PTSD, anxiety, all these things, depression, okay? Oh, okay, let me add this comment. She said, may I suggest that sometimes a gentleman who is controlling when it comes to money may be working off of fear 100%. He may be concerned about not reaching a legacy goal. Most people operate out of fear. There's love and there's fear. Most people operate out of fear, and I would love to unpack that. If I have time, I'll get into that, okay? So your body has feminine energy, and it will invite you gently at first. It'll say, come, let's focus on this. You're aware that you're hurting. And if you don't, that gentle call will turn into a demand, okay? That feminine energy can turn up, and it says, sit your butt down. It'll either push your body to have a heart attack, it'll push you to have a nervous breakdown. Something will happen that will force your behind to sit down and meditate. Meditate just means to focus and be thoughtful. Be aware of what you are inside, not just your muscles, not just your beard, not just your clothes, not just your bank account. How do you feel inside? Are you scared? Are you anxious? Are you sad? Are you grieving? Are you whatever? Men, you have to tap in and assess how you feel. It's really good if you do it once a day. Beginning of the day, tap in, meditate. We can get into how to do that in another video, if you guys remind me. But this is necessary. That is your feminine energy. Your feminine energy feels. You do not want to get to the point where she sits you down with force. Brain aneurysm, cancer, all of these things science has proven come from unhealed emotions. A lot of the stuff manifests physically. The feminine is formless. So one author said it was like pure potential. So if you see a blank canvas, it's the potential of what it could be. If you see a lump of clay, it's the potential of what it could be. It's pure potential. It doesn't have form. This is why women, they could be all over the place, but don't judge it. That's how we're supposed to be. The feminine energy is all over the place. That's why they crave the masculine energy, which has form. You can look at it like a vase and water. Why would you judge the water for being moving? Why would you judge the vase for being rigid? They need each other. If I want to put flowers in a vase, I need that form to hold the water, but I need the water to give life to the flowers. Do not despise what is unlike you. Just because it's different doesn't make it bad. Feminine energy is multi-focused and diffused, okay? Imagine it like steam. You can't just pick up a piece of steam. It's diffused. It could be everywhere at once. Masculine energy is sharp like a laser, and it's focused on one thing. It's tangible. There it is. It's right there. So you could say the diffuser, the masculine energy is the actual diffuser, and the feminine energy could be like the steam. But you need them both. You need them both. Feminine energy is your creative, pure creative juice. It's energy. It's creative, okay? So men, a lot of men I've noticed now that I'm learning about all this stuff, a lot of creative men have more feminine energy. I genuinely was wondering a couple years ago, I did a post in my Facebook group and I was like, can there be effeminate men who are totally heterosexual? And it kind of stumped a lot of people and they couldn't understand what I meant when I said effeminate. And I didn't know at the time because I just hadn't studied this. It's energy. There were some men who had feminine energy. I've actually dated some like that. And I was just turned off because I'm attracted to that very masculine because that's what I grew up around. So I'm very, very feminine and I'm attracted to very, very masculine. But it confused me because I did not feel like they were homosexual. But I was like, I couldn't put my finger on it. And now I understand those people were a lot more creative. And they were more tapped into their feelings and they were very emotional. There was a guy legitimately, like he was so sweet. He was so kind. He was so tender. And he was such a beautiful person. But there wasn't enough polarity for me to be sexually attracted to him. You know what I mean? Like be attracted like as a man and a woman should be attracted. I loved being around him and he would make a really good friend, but it didn't make me want him to be my man. Can you guys understand that? Does that make sense? But made for a beautiful person. And he's like, so many people thought I was homosexual. And he's like, I get hit on all the time by guys, but I'm not. I grew up in an performing arts school. I didn't have male role models. And the men who were around me, they were effeminate because I was in a performing arts school. Beautiful singer, beautiful soul. But I finally make sense. Because I kept saying, oh, he's in denial. No, he just has a lot of feminine energy. Feminine energy is the receiver. It's like a magnet. It draws things into herself. She magnetizes. Does a magnet run out and grab things like a predator getting its prey? No. The magnet just has to be. And its very nature attracts. What does that sound like, ladies? I can just sit here in the chair and sip my water. And I can attract. The men will come up. The men will seek me. Okay? So feminine energy attracts. Masculine is the giver. He is electric. He goes out and gets what he needs. So same thing. He's in the cafe and he sees that woman over there. I want that. He goes, he exerts himself, he exerts energy, he goes out and gets what he needs. Now I'm using he and she, male and female pronouns to make it easy with masculine and feminine, but remember, both of us have both. So ladies, if you go out and you see a house that you want and you go out and get it, or you go out and start a business, that's your masculine energy. It's not wrong or right, it just is. Okay, so it's not bad for you to go out and get something. But if you're dealing with dating relationships, you need that polarity. So this answers all those questions that people submit. Well, should I call him? Should I text him? Should I initiate? Should I understand that your predominant energy should be just magnetizing, okay? And expanding upon what he gives you. So if he gives you his energy, oh, you let him know that you love it. And that will make him want to keep going, okay? Feminine energy is very comfortable with the ebbs and flows of life. It goes with the flow. We're going this way? Okay. We're going that way? Okay. Cool. Feminine. Masculine says, this is where we're going. I've determined it. This is where we're going. I've mapped it out. I've made the logical decision. This is where we're going to go. And we're going to go there. And it's laser focused on that. Okay? Feminine sees beauty. Oh, there's so much beauty in this. I could just take in this beautiful sunset. Masculine is interested in the function. All right, what can we do with this? All right, it's daytime. All right, it's light. How can we use this light effectively? Well, we should get the lawn work done because when the sun goes down, we won't have enough time to see. The woman's over there looking at the sunset. Okay, the feminine energy. Feminine appreciates the beauty. Masculine sees how does it work. So a man is probably more concerned with how does this tool work, and the woman's like, well, what colors do they have? Does this come in polka dot? It'll match my outfit. He's like, girl, as long as it works. Okay. So again, big letters over the feminine, be. Big words over the masculine, do. All right. Feminine is creative, flowing, nurturing, intuitive, and community focused. We see ourselves as part of the group. How can we fit in? Now, can you see how this can get perverted? If you're too focused, ladies, on the community, you're more worried about what everyone else is doing, that could be a problem, okay? So I'm going to give you a couple of things for feminine. She experiences deep feeling. Feminine experiences emotion. Feminine energy has intuition. Feminine energy is creative. A lot of these are recapping. She has the ability to multitask. She is sensual. She's in touch with her senses. Okay? Sensuality. She's a collaborator. She wants to work together. She is renewing. She gathers, and what she gathers, she nurtures. She procreates. She orchestrates. Okay? She can notice all these different things and put everything together. She is the opposite of dominant. Okay? Masculine, on the other hand, I'm going to rattle off a bunch of these. Are we okay on time? Yeah, we have 9 minutes. Okay. Masculine energy is very linear. The sign that is used for masculine is fire. And I didn't look up women, but I'm pretty sure it's water. Just, I would imagine that would be logical because she moves and she's free flowing and she can take on different shapes. Fire is like, whoa, it can destroy you or heat you, but it's fire, okay? It takes off. Masculine energy is all about action, taking leadership, doing, knowing the direction and moving towards it. What it desires is freedom. Let me do my thing. Men, can you relate to that? Feminine desires love. She's like, accept. He's like, let me go. Can you see how these can conflict? But we're just so drawn to one another. Masculine is all about logic. What's the logic in it? What reason are we doing this for? And being very decisive. Do not be wishy-washy. Let's pick it and stick with it. Now, here is the downside. If you only use your masculine energy, you can risk feeling empty inside emotionally. Okay? If you only tap into your masculine all the time, you will feel empty inside emotionally, which is why so many men commit suicide. If you only tap into your feminine energy, you're going to feel aimless. You're going to feel like you have no purpose. Like, why am I even here? You feel like a waste of space, like I'm not doing enough. Okay? Left brain for masculine, right brain right brain feminine. Feminine side says I feel. Oh. Masculine side says I think. When you ask a man, how do you feel about that? He's like, I'm like, no, what do you feel? No, what do you feel? It's hard for them. And then women, you're like, what do you think about the situation? Well, I feel, no, not what you feel. What do you think about this? Well, my feelings are, we innately, feminine, feel. They, masculine, innately think. Masculine is very strategic, okay? He's very point A to B. Okay, where's point A? I need to know where point A is. And where are we trying to go? Okay, so I could put that line together, formulate a plan, and stick to it. He wants to know, where am I going? How am I getting there? I can see it. I can go. The feminine is, let me feel it out. What's my intuition telling me? It's not black and white with her. From the masculine viewpoint, remember I said don't despise the opposite because it's not like you. Different is not always bad. The masculine can be tempted to look at the feminine and see chaos and complication. Ugh. She's all over the place. She doesn't make sense. Her stories are long. I didn't need those details. Why is she so emotional? You don't appreciate her because you see chaos and complication. And I would imagine from the feminine side, she can despise the masculine, say, you're out of touch. You're not bendable enough. You're not flexible. You can't read the room, dude. And if we're not careful, we'll despise the other instead of looking at each other as a yin to the yang. yin to the yang, and how can we help each other? The only solution for men, well, those in the masculine energy, is to relentlessly love her. If you relentlessly, I love that phrase, if you relentlessly love her, you put her at ease and you calm her down. She'll go from being a Tasmanian devil to, okay? You gotta, if you love her hard, there's a very good chance that you will have a successful relationship. And for women, if you can try to understand him, if you can try to think about what he's doing and appreciate it and respect his process and contain your emotions a little bit and just watch and listen, you will help him a lot. Okay? Try to listen. When he says, that's not what I meant, try to give him grace and say, okay, let me hear what you're saying without emotion. Let me really hear what you're saying and not assume that you were trying to hurt me. So as a recap, feminine energy, feeling, just being. Masculine energy, thinking and producing. I want to be productive. Feminine, I want to feel, I want to appreciate, I want to see the beauty. She says, here I am. I'm just here. He says, well, I am XYZ. I'm a CEO. I'm a millionaire. She says, I just am. He says, I'm all these things, external. The man says, look at everything that I've done. Look at what I'm bringing to the table. And she says, I am the table. Yes, bring it to me. Thank you. Gracious though. Thank you. I'm going to be the table. And I'm so grateful for everything you put on the table. The feminine just wants to be listened to. She wants her mood to change, not her mind to change. So when she comes and asks for advice, she's not looking for you to change her mind. She just wants you to ease her mood. She's like a pot that the lid's on too tight. She just wants some of the pressure off. She wants the steam to come out. She doesn't want you to come in and stir up the ingredients. Nah, that's disruptive. She just wants to take some of the pressure off. But the man, he wants to fix. He's like, let me fix it. I can see why it's a problem. It's too salty. You need to add this or you need to... No. The woman is emotional. She's a feeler. She's an intuiter. She's intuitive. He is mental. He is logical. But both of you will suffer if you ignore the other. Okay? Emotions you seek from within. Masculine, mental, logical, and you seek from without. You go out and get money. You go out and conquer. You go out and do all these things. But learn to work together, okay? If you take the example of being parents, the woman, oh, I'm sorry, Kenneth. The woman, when it comes to kids, she's very nurturing and she will coddle the children and she's tender and she allows that child to feel safe. But if she's left with, if the child's left with just that, it's like giving someone candy all day long. You need nourishment. You need that tough, other stuff that's less enjoyable. So that man brings in that balance. He keeps her from totally babying those children, because if you coddle too much, they're not prepared for the real world. But if you don't coddle enough, you lose that innocence of a child. So you see how together it's good. But what does the woman do? She criticizes the man and says, you're too tough. The man criticizes the woman and says, you're coddling her too much. If you were to act in unison, your child gets the best of both worlds. That child learns when to tap into their emotions and when to tap into logic. My daughter, I don't think she would mind me sharing this example, but she's learning how to handle her emotions, manage them. I don't want her to not feel emotions. I want her to manage them successfully. I want her to not be, when you're all emotional, it's like jumping into a river with a strong current. You're just dragged, okay? It drag you. When you are in your masculine, you can step out on the river bank. You could still see the emotions, but you're looking from the banks into the river. And you can pick and choose what you want to tap into. So if you're having fun, you might want to sit down and put your feet in. You might want to drink. But if it's something you're not enjoying, you want to be able to pull your feet back out. Okay, maybe the water's icy cold. You want to pull your feet back out. So you should be able to experience emotions and not be overwhelmed by them. So she felt a little overwhelmed because she started a new school, and in order for her to catch up, she had to do an entire unit, which ended up not being that much stuff. But in her mind, she got overwhelmed to the point where she started to cry. And I saw this as a teaching opportunity. So I said, baby girl, I see your eyes are welling up like you're going to start crying. I said, what's the issue? She said, I feel so overwhelmed by the amount of lessons I have to do. And I acknowledged her. I validated her emotions. I said, yeah, I could see how you would feel that way. And I compared to when I've had my to-do list, and I looked at it and I felt overwhelmed. So that's the nurturing. I nurtured her. I didn't punch her in the chest and say, get over it, little girl. You're making a big deal, a mountain out of a molehill. No, I was compassionate, and I tapped in and I compared. And I said, but you know what I did? Because do you like feeling this way? She said, no, I don't. I said, yeah, that's an icky feeling, right? She said, yeah. I don't like feeling emotion. I said, where do you feel it in her body? In your body, she said, right here. Her chest was tight. I said, yeah, because that's not a pleasant feeling. So don't you want to get rid of that feeling? She said, yeah, I do. It's this simple, you guys. I said, well, let's use some logic. How about we map out the lessons you have to do, and we give ourselves breaks in the middle, and you got your mama here. I can help you on the stuff you get stuck on. And she was kind of like, okay. But she still was feeling the emotion because the emotions were soaring through her. It's like coming out of the water, but you're still soaking wet. And I helped her do some exercises, some breathing, because breathing calms your heart rate. Your body physically reacts. You're having a chemical reaction. So if you guys are like, oh, get over it. No, you're physically having a reaction when you're feeling feelings. That's why your hands can get sweaty. That's why your heart can start racing. That's why your eyes can dilate, pupils can dilate. So she had to get over that physical reaction. So even though mentally she decided she wanted to move on, we had to do breathing exercises until she was able to calm down. And then she needed a hug after that. And I held her. I held her until her breathing finally totally calmed down. That's something a mama can do like easily because we know what it feels like. But let's just say she only had a dad. He probably would be like, girl, you doing too much. Come on, just get it done. It's not to say that men are bad, but we need to be able to tap into both. So I started out with my feminine energy because she's a girl. And then I moved into the masculine energy. But a man could do the same thing. A man watching this could learn, oh, this is what my daughter needs. And even a son. People are human, you guys. Let's stop acting like boys don't have emotions. You can tell him, son, I understand it really hurts that your friend, is mad at you right now. And you acknowledge it and let the initial feeling out. But son, we need to be in control. So, all right, now let's reel it in. Let's be constructive with our thoughts. Let's think about what we want to do. Well, what can we do? We can't change it. Whatever the case may be. That's when but when you parent, if you can parent with both energies, your kids are going to be so well-rounded. They're not going to need all the therapy that a lot of us needed. Okay. That's really all I have time for. I really thought I was going to go crazy over, but I'm only 6 minutes over. And technically, we didn't really start until a few minutes in because I was saying hi to everybody. So what did you guys think? Did you like this? Did you enjoy it? If you have any questions, feel free to ask it now. I really, 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 really want men and women to understand each other better and to be kind. Be kind. There are so many negative comments that are left on posts, not towards me, thank goodness, but it's still sad nonetheless because when I say something that men, oh, awesome, Walter. when I say men, when men see posts for women saying, women, this is what you should do, the men come in with total, what is the word? Bitterness. And they're like, yeah, women these days are a lost cause. Oh, women these days are, and just like take a crap all over this beautiful moment that was, the seed was dropped. And women are reading these comments. So they're reading they're reading the post going, okay, this is where I need to shape up a little bit. And then here you come to the comment, oh, but women these days. Do you know what that does? It's so disparaging to their spirits. And in the reverse, when I say, men, this is what women are looking for. And there are guys who are genuinely wanting to get better, and they read it. And then the women come in the comment, yeah, good luck with that. All these feminine men now. Let's zip it. Okay? I want my community to be like this safe haven where people can come in and get freed from the toxicity. People are fed up from the toxicity. Women are sick of men disparaging them, and men are sick of women disrespecting them. So can we agree that we're going to make at least my community a safe space? Okay? I want it to be like this crazy nirvana love fest. Brain Chaser says, how do you get over the pain of rejection and loneliness? That is a lot more complicated to answer, but the short end of it is that you have to go to the ultimate source. So you guys, have you heard me talk about the Matrix? I love referencing the Matrix. The Matrix is the system of this world. The system of this world is taught through messaging, advertising, and all this stuff. Oh, I love it. She said it's good for her new relationship. You're starting off on a right foot. The messaging of this world I refer to as the Matrix. And so they tell you that you need something externally to feel complete. You need something external to feel complete. It tells men you need to amass a certain amount of wealth and stature in society before you can feel complete. That is the message given to men. The message given to women, pumped into us from the minute we're old enough to understand, is you need to have a man in order for you to be complete and whole. So you have men and women running around feeling like they are incomplete. And they are frantically trying to get completeness, trying to find wholeness. But the reality is, the other half of your spirit that you feel is missing can only be satisfied with another spirit. And I don't know if you guys are picking up on this, but there is the spirit that can give you that wholeness. That spirit, some call Jehovah, some call God, some call Elion. Okay? Jehovah, Jesus, God. Jesus is Jehovah's son. But they are spirits. They are spirits. And so when you commune and you meditate, okay, this isn't about religion, you guys. This is fact. We are spirits, and we can get into, why that's the case, but we are spirits. If you commune with your spirit, if your spirit communes with the spirit that created you, it gives you what you need. And I don't understand it with my logical brain. I just know it works. So if you're dehydrated and and someone says, drink this clear liquid through this straw, and you're like, I'm not dehydrated anymore. You really stop caring about how it works. Like, I don't need to go and study the water and like 2 hydrogen and 1 oxygen. I'm not interested in that. I just need to make sure I never run out of this stuff. Because if I get dehydrated, I want to be able to go to the source. So when I meditate, I literally say, give me this day my daily bread. And what is that speaking to? You guys, I'm sure, heard that famous prayer. Jesus, when they asked Jesus how to pray, he said, our daily bread. I am living water. We are spirits. And because we cannot see our spirit, we tend to neglect it. But your spirit can be dehydrated and starving. When your spirit man is dehydrated or starving, you feel anxiety, you feel fear, you feel depression. And you will feel like you are not enough. You will feel like you are not loved. You will feel like you are incomplete. So I want to ask you to admit to me in the comments who feels this, but you will literally hear a little voice inside your head saying, you are not enough. You're not good enough. You got to go out and do more, or you have to be better. You're not good enough. That's the narrative that you will hear the Matrix telling you. Keep going. Keep going. Tweak that. Go out and get that. Buy that. Do that. Take this on, with the hope that one day you can get that dangling carrot. That dangling carrot is that if you can go externally enough, if you can go externally and find that thing, then you will feel whole. That is what the Matrix teaches. Why? Because if I can tell you that this thing will make you whole, guess what you're going to keep spending your money on? This thing. This is going to make you feel whole. Keep shopping. Hey, a relationship is going to want to make you feel whole. Okay, now I can sell you all this relationship stuff. Now I can convince people that they got to get in a relationship. This matrix, just because you don't know how it works, don't like, what is the call? Like, don't take it lightly. And so many people are not open to learning about spirituality because some people who have claimed to be spiritual are some of the most evil, like lack of compassion, judgmental, nasty people you will ever meet. And so the Matrix loves that, because then it does the job for the Matrix. Those people who normally would have been open to understanding how the spirit is taken care of associates everything with fixing and healing their spirit with nasty people who act religious. So if you're a person who's like, oh, I'm not a religious person. Oh man, I was cool with her until she started talking about this Bible stuff. Don't shut down because you hear that. For your own sanity, try it. Maybe you take, pills to sleep. Maybe you self-medicate by watching porn, or maybe you date incessantly. Maybe you're addicted to validation from other people. Maybe you are addicted to always dressing the best or having your body the best. You are not happy if you're honest with yourself. You lay to bed at night and you don't feel total peace. If that is you, what do you have to lose by getting up in the morning and meditating and saying, God, are you real? Are you real? Like, I'm not a religious person. You can say that to him. He likes that because you're keeping it 100. And you're like, are you real? Because Yonci keeps talking about just hanging out with you. And I want to see what this hype is all about. It's free. There's no subscription you have to pay for. It's just your time. That's a free resource, right? Just your time. You spend time with him. And you're like, what's this daily bread thing she's talking about? And if you really want to kick it into high gear, read the love letter he wrote to you. He literally tells you how to have perfect peace with no medication, with no affirmation from other people, with no stature. You could have $0 to your name. You could be 5,000 pounds. You could be on the moon and feel like you are the richest person in the world in your spirit. That's why people kill themselves to get to a certain place when it comes to fame and wealth and get the hottest wife and the hottest husband. And those people commit suicide at the prime of their life, at the height of whatever the stuff externally they have. Because they think those things will finally give them the peace that allows them to sleep at night. The joy that just has you walking around smiling all day like a crazy person. The reason you have that fantasy that one day you could have it all is because you were designed to have it all. You were initially created with it all. But because of the matrix, unfortunately, we have to go through this matrix, but some of us have been so blessed to find out the answer to the secret. Shouldn't be a secret. We should be screaming it from the rooftops. But some of us have been so blessed that we have found the secret to joy, to peace, to love overflowing. And you guys, if you knew my story, those of you who don't know my story, I wanted to kill myself. That's how depressed I was over not having love from a man, a human man, that checked the boxes. If I didn't have the love from a human man, I literally felt like life wasn't worth living. I couldn't enjoy my life. And so if you can relate to that as a woman, can you imagine what it would feel like to be totally at bliss, whether you're single or not? It would take all the pressure off of you. Because you don't know if you're going to meet your man this year or 10 years from now. Wouldn't you rather be blissful between now and then? And when you date him, you're not going to come across as this needy, desperate chick, because you truly will be so zen. You're like, oh, you're just an icing on the cake. He's not going to be the whole bakery in your eyes. And men, can you imagine a life where you don't have to struggle to provide for your family? Can you imagine a life where you could just tap in to the creator of the universe and say, okay, God, can you just give me some wisdom so that I can figure out how to work smarter and not harder? And all of a sudden you feel these downloads into your brain and you're just like, whoa, the facts, I'm not making this up. You just downloads in your brain. I have to keep a notebook next to my meditation area because he downloads so much. When I wake up, I kind of chuckle. I'm like, speak, Lord, your servant here. Thank you for waking me up, by the way. And he's like, he downloads in my spirit. And then what happens? I posted, you guys are like, oh, you're so wise. And I'm like, they think it's me. That's cute. But I don't want to be too churchy and be like, praise the Lord from whom all blessings flow. But that's what I really want to say. I'm like, honey, I just wrote it down. But he's over here just give game. I would say things like, Lord, I want to know about how to do courses, but I don't want to pay for it. All of a sudden, I open my Instagram. There's an ad. Would you like to learn about making courses? Sign up for this free webinar. I'm like, he's hilarious that way. I want to learn about ClickFunnels. I want to learn about the back end so I don't have to keep manually doing everything, and I want to reach more people. What does he do? Put someone in my path who's like, I love your stuff. Hey, by the way, this is my wheelhouse if you ever need to learn about ClickFunnels. And I'm like, goodbye. I literally said to him, I said goodbye. And he's a believer too, so he got it. I said goodbye. Really? You're such a fan. You want to give me for free training on ClickFunnels that people charge like all this money they've been trying to get me to buy this thing to learn about ClickFunnels? He gives you what you need when you have that relationship with him. And it makes you so lovable because it curbs your anger. You don't walk around angry. It quelches your fear. So you're not walking around so timid and, projecting onto people and nervous all the time. And, oh my God, when is the other shoe going to drop? And, oh my God. He calms you. He gives you peace. He allows you to just focus on today. And he gives you so much gratitude. You're like, I have what I need for today. I used to stress about money. Oh my gosh, I quit my job and I'm used to having this much in the bank and now I just have. And he's like, do you have enough? Yeah. Okay, so if you have enough on Tuesday, why are you worried about Wednesday? The Bible literally says Wednesday has enough things to worry about on Wednesday. So boo-boo, focus on Tuesday. And just be grateful that you have enough today. And guess what? When I stopped focusing on the bank, started getting more clients. I'm like, okay, God. So you didn't want to give it to me until I realized I wasn't controlling it. Once I realized I'm not controlling it, now I can just sit back and I don't even look at my account now. So I say all that to say, that is my long-winded answer. I love that you guys are still here. Answer about getting over, what was the original question? Hold on. I can't even find the question anymore. I think it was something about getting over, somebody. If anyone remembers it, can you retype it? Look at these comments, you guys, really quick. Thank you, Natasha. Thank you, guys. Oh, there it is. How do you get over the pain of rejection and loneliness? So I want to tap back to this really quick, okay? So the pain of rejection and loneliness. The reason why rejection hurts on the visceral level that it does is because it triggers that underlying feeling that's in the back of your mind that I talked about a little bit ago, that you're not enough. So if the matrix is telling you you're not enough and you believe it, when someone else with skin and bones, another human, rejects you, it now triggers that feeling that you're not enough. So the pain is 10 million times worse than if you never believed that lie that you weren't enough. If you truly believed that you were enough because your spirit has been replenished, you simply say, oh, this person isn't my compatible partner. Oh, and you move on. And you're so grateful that you didn't spend any more time with that person. But when you believe that your worth is coming from another person, when that person removes themselves from your life, you feel like something was taken away from you. If you go into a store and you try on something and it doesn't fit, you don't walk away feeling like a worthless piece of crap and a loser. You simply say, oh, that's not the right size. Let me get a size 10. Let me get a size smaller. That's how relationships are when you have the spirit filling you. I think what it is you grieve the friendship that you don't have, because like you have that person in your life and you get used to that person and you have your little routine and stuff. So you're kind of, oh man, I miss that. But you're not devastated. And I know this from experience because I've dealt with breakups when my spirit was dehydrated. And I've dealt with breakups when my spirit was so satisfied. And it was night and day. Literally night and day. I used to be so obsessed that if a guy did not call me first thing in the morning, or at least text, and didn't close out the day with a FaceTime, and I didn't get texts throughout the day, I would be devastated. At one point, a guy didn't even message me the entire day, and I didn't even notice him the next day. Night and day. Night and day. Okay, so I think I went over all the questions. Thank you for everyone who commented. You guys, somebody has said that there was the video was messing up. Did more than one of you experience that? Because I saw a notification saying like something was up with the internet. Now it says excellent condition, but I'm wondering if you guys saw it too. It's the friendship that you really hate to lose. In my current breakup, I get over it quickly because I have been being filled. I love it. I love it. Yeah, and self-talk really helps, Walter. So in those moments where you feel those feelings of like, man, I really miss that friendship, you can switch it to say, man, I'm so grateful that for those 3 months or however long, those 3 months, I got to have that friendship. And when you change the verbiage in your brain, it changes your actual energy in your body. So if you see it like, I love that she said we hung in the regardless. Y'all are awesome. Your body will either see it as a loss or see it as something to celebrate. If you change the narrative to, oh man, that was so cool. For 3 months, I had such a really dope person to talk to. Man, that's going to be fun to experience that again. Your energy is a positive one. If you say, oh, I can't believe this was taken from me. It was so awesome and I don't have it anymore. You're telling your physical body that you have lost. And now it's going to go into a state of panic. So that mantra is so important. That constant, like, I don't know if mantra is the right word, but you know what I'm saying? That narrative that you tell yourself. When I was going through, once I was in a state of healing, like I feel healed now, and something happened, I acknowledged it. I didn't disregard it and act in denial. I was like, man, that was something fun. Huh. I acknowledged it. And depending on the length of the relationship and the intensity of it, one, I allowed myself to cry for 10 minutes. I literally said, okay, you have 10 minutes to cry, get it out, because that's emotion. Get it out of my body, And now we're moving on, because that one was my last toxic situationship. And I said, you're allowed to cry because you're disappointed, but after that, we're going to logic mode. He was not good for you. This was the best thing for you. He would have kept hurting you. And when I kept reminding myself of those things that were not good, it was this constant, yes, you did the right thing, girl. Oh, you're so awesome. You are bad, mama jamma, because you don't get swayed with emotions. You tap into your feminine energy when it's necessary. But right now, you need your masculine to protect the little girl inside you. So your long-term person is going to be so grateful that in this short term, you tapped in your masculine energy, because that masculine is going to protect you. And masculine energy is saying, no, this is not good for me. Logically, I don't care what my emotions are saying. Shut up, emotions. Right now, it's not your show. Right now, I have the mic, and we are ditching this guy. So that's why I say you got to be able to tap into both. Okay? All right, y'all really hung in here for an hour and a half. I love you guys. Have I told you that lately? Over a year and a half. Oh, goodness gracious. Yeah, that's a long time. And you're having to recreate life again. So that's I don't know if you guys lived together, but if you saw each other often, you are going to be constantly reminded of her not being there, because you're going to have your thing like, oh, we always do this on the weekends. So that's going to be normal, but it's going to be really important for you to supplement those things. If you normally did stuff on Saturdays that you really looked forward to, find something to fill that. You do not want to leave just a vortex. You don't want to leave a black hole, because then you'll get sucked into it. So make sure you have plans. That's what I tell women, if you really struggle with the holidays and things like that, start making plans that you like. If you get triggered seeing everyone taking their little cute pictures every holiday, you make yourself an annual photo shoot where you hire a photographer and you get fabulous, you get beat your face and get a cute outfit and make your own memories. We have to substitute instead of just feeling sorry for ourselves. I'm not saying you feel sorry for yourself, Walter, but I'm just saying. He said a lot of good memories. Yeah, so just awesome. Learn those lessons and focus on the awesomeness of the fact that you learned a lesson, many lessons, and cherish those memories. She was going to be my wife. Oh, but such is life. We don't live together, but thank God I put my foot down about that. Awesome. I have been reconnected with friends because she really stopped that when we were together. Oh, see? Good for you that you tapped into your logic enough, your masculine energy enough to say, as much as I enjoy the good times, I can tell this woman isn't right for me long term. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right, guys. So as I said at the beginning, if you want to know more about the spirit realm, how do you nourish your spirit? Again, that's where your emotions come from. So this is not something to take lightly. Okay. Everybody should be learning this stuff. I have a study that I'm doing on Thursday nights. If you're on my email list, you're already getting the emails. If you're not on my email list, go to the description and find out how to get on there. The first live stream of the month will be group chats, again, bringing that back, where people can come in on camera and talk. So I'd love to see a lot of you regulars, because the ones who came on last time, like Kizzy, now I have a face with her name. Howard is another one. Now I totally have a face and a personality with the name. You're not just a YouTube handle. And then March 21st is the first week that we're going to switch over to Monday. So can everyone type Monday so I know you caught that? March 21st, we're going to move to Mondays because my weekends belong to my daughter moving forward, okay? It's all about being balanced as a mama and an entrepreneur. And then that's it. If you guys want to grab my book, you guys can do so on my website, chasingyonci.com. Super easy. Everything's the same, chasingyonci.com. And just go to the shop. And then if you go here, if you really will remember, it's yonci.com/shop. Take you right there to the shop, and you could pick up your copy. I think they're like $8. They're like nothing, you guys. But if you want to do that, it supports me, helps me eat. But I also think that you'll really enjoy them, and it will really help. Okay, so cool. So 3 of you guys caught that Monday tip. Okay, so good. It's always nice to see who's listening. But that's it, guys. I really don't want to go because I love hanging out with you. But I'm so looking forward to when you guys are on camera with me, because it's one thing to like have the delay and wait and see the comments. It's another to look you in the face and have these conversations. So I'm really looking forward to March, the first live stream in March. So it looks like we have, oh, it's next week. It's next week. Next week is the first live stream. So yay. All right. So if you want to be on camera next week, then DM me, or better yet, email me. One of those two. I prefer email, so I don't miss it, because Instagram filters it somehow. But you guys can email contactyonci@gmail.com, and I'll write it in the notes, contact Yonci, and I'll space it because sometimes it acts weird with an email address. But contact Yonci and email. Oh, good. Someone else heard me about Mondays. Email me and say I want to be on camera, and include your Instagram handle if you email me, so I can verify that you're, a real person, because I get odd people sometimes reaching out. But let me know, and I'll send you the Zoom information, because we come on Zoom, and then you guys can be on camera. And if you don't want to be on camera, you can come on with just your camera closed and you hear the audio, okay? But join the conversation. That's it, you guys. As always, I'm going to stick around for like 30 seconds to a minute after, because there's a delay, so I like to be able to see the comments as you guys are saying goodnight and everything like that. But until next time, tell someone that you love them.